What a game we are all watching at Lambeau Field. The 49ers down 7-0 to the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round of the NFC playoffs. Welcome into 49ers Halftime Live. Laura Britt, Donte, Whitner, Joe Staley, Takeo Spikes. Hard to know where to start, so I'm going to start with the blocked field goal that we all just saw. Jimmy Ward, this has been such a game of ups and downs, riding the roller coaster. A lot of turnovers in this game outside of that Packers' first really successful drive where they made it look effortless. The 49ers defense settled in. But a big play by the Niners defense there, blocking the field goal because Jimmy Garoppolo threw that interception. That was a big missed opportunity that they come back and have this opportunity.
Yeah, and that's been an issue with Jimmy since he's been here. 4.6% turnover-worthy play, and that's what we talk about all the time. But Jimmy Ward, shout out for shooting that gap and blocking that because he gave up the big play on that.
Yep.
He typically don't sit on routes, allowed Aaron Jones to get up the sideline, but I like what I'm seeing from the 49ers defense. Their stars are stepping up. Both are 2 sacks in the first half. They're clutch right there, getting that ball out. Fred Warner, the forced fumble. The team started to play differently after he intentionally punched that ball out. One thing I would like to see them get better at is the nickel coverage. K'Waun Williams has been beat too many times. They tell you to stay inside leverage. Stop looking at the head and shoulders of Devontae Adams and getting beat inside. On that 1 3rd and 5, you're outside. You have help on the inside. Sit outside, stop staring at the quarterback, and make the play on the football. But other than that, the defense is keeping this team in the game.
100%. Defense is the only reason why this is a 7-point game going into the half, because it could be ugly the way the offense is playing, and especially the offensive line. You know, I take a lot of pride in the offensive line and my love for the offensive line. But Tom Compton on the right side, Daniel Brunskill had the penalty, Laken Tomlinson with the sack. They're not able to get in a rhythm. And that has to be fixed coming out of the half if the Niners want to get back into this game, score points. Even the pick on Jimmy, I know he can't make that decision. He cannot make that decision to throw that ball, but offensive line, I mean, again, he's getting pressured too much.
And I think overall, when you tie it together, the thing I'm most disappointed in is when you look at them, how they're operating offensively with the mentality. Like, it's one thing to mess up on a few plays here, a few plays there, but when you're getting beat, manhandled, mollywopped across the offensive line, like, that's detrimental. That's bad. And as a defensive unit, when you see offensive linemen do that and then you see the look in their eyes, now it's like, hey, man, I want to come and get some of that too. You got guys fighting to get over on the right side of that offensive line because they know it's some gold over there.
I saw the police waiting in the tunnel. They're ready to arrest Gary for child abuse. He's
is.
abusing Compton on that right side. They better get some help or they're going to destroy this game. The offensive line has been the issue, but it's the defensive ends of the Green Bay Packers taking it to Trent Williams and Compton in the run game as well.
And one thing, too, I mean, it doesn't mean you have to keep a guy in and double team those guys on the edge. Just a chip, like Bosa sees the whole entire season. Just something to slow down that initial rush, get the offensive lineman in position to be successful.
Yeah, a big problem in this game for the 49ers is their run game is not able to get going. We knew that the Packers' game plan coming into this game would be to put the game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. That's what makes sense. The 49ers right now on the ground, 11 carries for 34 yards is all they've been able to do, just not really able to get anything going. 2 big dropped passes, one by George Kittle, which he, of course, made up for it later in the game, and Juwan Jennings missing back-to-back catches. Kind of kills the momentum for the 49ers. And it does seem that the cold is affecting the 49ers, especially in those moments where they're dropping the passes.
Yeah, and those balls are a little slippery when they get cold and it's hard. It's almost like catching a brick, but these are the catches that they have to make. You understood the circumstances going into this game. And then, you know, the running game is, well, I believe that they'll start to get better going into the second half, but Jimmy Garoppolo, you can't turn the football over like that.
I think when you go with a running game,
can't.
when you go in the running game, I would like to see them get more under center. When you're playing on the road and the crowd noise and you have to, as an offensive lineman, come off the ball because of that silent count, and when the center looks between his legs, looks up, you're not getting a cadence. So it's hard to fire off as an offensive line. And they're right now looking like not the aggressor up front. And you're not getting any movement that we've seen throughout this year. So play under center, get the ball into the Debo, Elijah Mitchell's hand. And you saw that in the last drive before Jimmy threw the interception.
I think despite it all, we talked about some of the bad plays or how bad the offensive line has played. They're only down 7 points. And if you're a 49er, you have to walk inside of that locker room feeling encouraged, understanding that, look, guys, we played our worst brand of football the first half, and we're only down 7.
Only down 7, but it's 7-0. You know, the offense, if they're not going to be able to change something coming out of the half, it's going to be more of the same. You know, you got to score points to win a game, obviously. But 7-0 is a little bit different than just a 7-point deficit.
Yeah, and talk about changes. The 49ers are going to have to make some changes at the half. Right now, the Packers control the possession right now at 17:34 compared to 12 minutes and 26 seconds for the 49ers. But that's what the Packers have done all season long. They finished the regular season #1 in the NFL with controlling the time of possession. The 49ers have got to be able to get in there in the second half and turn that more in their favor. If you're Kyle Shanahan in the locker room, what's your message to the team right now?
Well, we didn't play our game at all. We didn't stay true to our identity, and we're still in this game. We get the ball coming out of half. Our defense kept us in the game. They're starting to heat up. They're starting to get a beat on Aaron Rodgers. It's time for the offense to step up to save the season and push them into the NFC Championship. So you want your defensive backs to tackle better, communicate better, stop giving up the big play. You want your rush to continue doing what they're doing. And on the offensive side of the ball, it's time to get true to your identity. It's time to control the edges. It's time to get the Smith brothers and Gary out of the edge in that C and D gap so that you can get back to your running game. If they do those things, they should be victorious.
I think not even just from Kyle Shanahan, but Chris Foerster and Trent Williams, the leaders on that offensive line. Like, you need to get with the rest of the group and challenge each other coming out of half. Like, we got embarrassed physically in that first half. Time to redeem ourselves coming out of half and take over this game.
And I would just remind the offensive line and just really the offense, if you look at what they've been able to do the last 2 drives, they moved the ball down the field. Now it's time to take the next step, get inside of the end zone.
A couple of really deflating plays for the 49ers offense. How does that impact the team, Takeo, in the second half? How do you bounce back as a team from those deflating plays?
Well, you know, from my experience, just looking at the success that you've had, and then even like looking at bad plays, you're only down 7. And so just imagine if we operate at a 70% efficiency rate. And so those are the things that I had a tendency to look at, like, okay, I know it's a bad situation now, but if we continue to move and make some first downs, get inside of a rhythm, now all of that is history. It's in the past.
And you saw what Fred Warner's strip did for the defense. You know, settle them down. Who's going to make that big play coming out of half, first possession for this offense? I really do think if you get that, then you'll see a different offense.
Yeah, limit the self-inflicted wounds. Offensive line play better. Defense continue to do what you're doing. Continue to bracket Donte Adams and change up some of the coverages that we haven't seen all year from the 49ers, and they should give themselves a chance.
The season is on the line. You win this game, you move on to the NFC Championship game. You lose, you go home. We're going to be here either way on NBC Sports Bay Area after the game for 49ers Post-Game Live. So join us then. The Niners down 7-0 to the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. We'll see you after the game.